thank you all for being here. I'm going to try and sum up my father and his life in a few minutes. Hopefully I can do it, keep my composure, and not be too self-indulgent. And my kids will be happy being the eco-friendly hipster that I am, that I didn't print this. All on my iPad, which I'll be using as a teleprompter. So my dad was a big person. He had a bigger than life personality. He had a big heart. He was just plain big. Those huge forearms, those big hands, really big head. I think he got that all from his mother, Marge. Agree with that, Auntie Jean? So Dad spoke reluctantly and modestly of some of the wonderful things he accomplished growing up in Clifton, playing ball for the Cincinnati Reds, serving his country for 3 years as a member of the U.S. Marines, serving the community of Oakland for over 25 years as one of the first members of the police department. I remember Dad loved his cars, he loved his garden, and he loved his house. Most especially, he loved his family. Remember the summers we spent in Vero Beach at Vista Del Mar, walking for miles on the beach looking for sea glass and spending hours swimming in the ocean. I remember Dad practicing the drums in the basement while his good friend Pete sang and played the guitar. This was a tradition that he allowed me to carry on with my friends, although I don't remember them playing any Led Zeppelin, Bad Company, or Grateful Dead. Dad was the #1 fan of the Indian Hills Braves football team, where we lost our first game freshman year and our last game senior year at the Meadowlands, but we won every game in between. Now, much to his teenage son's total embarrassment, he was at every game with drums, a cowbell, a bullhorn, and posters. Now, food had a special place in our house. I'm not necessarily talking about fine wine or fine dining. We're more about volume in our house. Somehow he managed to get me from 180 pounds coming out of middle school to 235 pounds my sophomore year, preparing me for the football season. And it may not be a surprise to anyone here that knows him if I shared my mother's story, that in 50 years, he never missed a day of having a donut, a crumb bun, or an Entenmann's baked product on the table. I have to think there's some type of promotional thing. My mom and Dad's marriage was quite unique, I think, by today's standards. Mom doted on Dad for over 60 years, which I guess could only be described as an old-fashioned marriage. I don't think I've ever seen them more than 50 feet apart. They had something special between the two of them and loved each other very much. Here comes the hard part. For those of you who knew my family, you know everything wasn't always bright and cheery. As I stood here 25 years ago, after my brother was killed, I know it broke my mom and dad's heart. I think their capacity to truly enjoy the rest of their life. And my dad is forever grateful to his nephew David for taking care of my brother's cemetery plot at Mount Hebron while they lived far away in various places. So after a few months after my brother George's death, my wife and I, Julie, had our first child, Christopher. Now, my religion teaches me that each of us has a bit of Jesus Christ within him. I think Dad kind of got this wrong because he actually thought Chris was Jesus Christ. Although he loved each of his grandchildren equally, Rachel, Sarah, Alfredo, Chris held a very special place in his very big heart. So that brings me to the conclusion of an 83-year-old story. A little more than a year ago, my dad developed throat cancer. He received excellent treatment at Memorial Sloan Kettering as my wife Julie drove him back and forth to his treatments. His last checkup, he received a great report from the doctors, went back to his home, his friends, to eat his donuts, tend to his garden, and worry about me and his grandchildren. Last Saturday, my mom went in to take her evening shower, and my dad went back to sit on the deck overlooking his precious garden. A few minutes later, he passed away. I can only hope that I leave this earth in the same peaceful fashion. God bless you, Dad. Thanks for all that you've done for me. Well, you may have left the physical world. Your morals, your principles, your quirks, idiosyncrasies, and characteristics live on through me and your grandchildren. To that I say, God bless you, Julie. Thank you.